Are you having problems with your audio? Okay, so in this video, I just wanted to cover a couple of quick troubleshooting tips in case you can't hear your audio, or maybe your audio has some buzz, hiss, or hum in it, or maybe you sound like you're in a box, or you sound really far away. Let's get into it. Is it plugged in? Seriously, is the microphone plugged into the interface, and is the interface plugged into the computer? Is the power on? Yes. Seriously, did you turn the interface on? Oh my God, how did I not? Who forgets to turn on your power bank? Click the, how did I forget to turn it on? Happens to us all at one point or another. Is the 48V phantom power button turned on? So, almost all condenser microphones require what is known as 48V phantom power. Without this button turned on, the microphone won't receive signal and it will not record you. Did you turn up the microphone's gain on the interface? Pro tip, if the microphone isn't turned up, it won't record you. When in doubt, reboot. So just restart your computer. Sometimes that works. Did you install the drivers for your interface? Now, this is typically more for a PC than it is for a Mac, but I always tell my students, install the drivers for your interface if you want your interface to work and function more efficiently with your computer. You can almost always find the drivers on the manufacturer's website. Just Google the name of your interface and then behind it put drivers. Did you connect the input and output on your computer to the interface? Now again, this is more for a PC than it is for a Mac. Macs typically just kind of set themselves and they're ready to go. But once you're done downloading the drivers and everything, you might need to go into your computer's sound settings and ensure that the input and the output is set properly. Is your interface connected inside your DAW? Whatever DAW you use, Audacity, Audition, Pro Tools, Cubase, Logic Pro, GarageBand, and a lot more. You will need to make sure that you go into your audio hardware or setup and ensure that your input and your output are set properly. Is the sample rate and the bit depth set the same inside your computer, your DAW, and your interface? Now again, this is typically more so for a PC than it is for a Mac, but if you're having some issues, you may want to go and ensure that your sample rate is set the same inside your DAW as it is inside your interface as it is inside your computer. Did you accidentally turn down the volume of the track inside your DAW? A lot of beginners will tend to mess with the faders and the knobs inside their DAW when they're trying to set their levels and not realize that they've turned everything down too far or maybe completely. Typically, the rule of thumb is you don't want to mess with any of the volume knobs or faders inside the DAW. You only want to mess with the gain on your interface. So when you go to set your levels, you don't want to mess with anything in the DAW. You just want to set the gain on your interface to ensure that you get the proper levels. Direct monitoring. We'll use the Focusrite 2i2 3rd Gen in this scenario, but once you have your headphones plugged in order to hear yourself back while you're recording, you'll need to ensure that direct monitoring is set properly. Reinstall or update your DAW. So this would be the last thing I would do because sometimes when you update, say your DAW, for example, it can actually cause problems because the manufacturer hasn't worked out all of the bugs in that update yet. But that being said, I have seen this work and fix people's issues. So, something to try. There's buzz, hiss, or hum in my audio. Microphone cable. Sometimes if you have a cheap cable, this can be a problem. Megami Gold is what I always tell people to get. Those cables are solid. They're quad shielded, so they're shielded against, a bunch of interference. And I've had mine for over 10 years and I've never had to replace it and I've never had any problems with it. They last for a long time. Unplug your microphone. So if you're hearing some kind of a hiss, buzz, or hum or something like that, you can unplug your microphone to see if the noise stops. If the noise stops, then there's a high chance it's your microphone, but this is very rare. I haven't seen this happen very often, but every once in a while you can get a dud microphone. Pro tip, make sure to turn off 48V phantom power before you unplug your microphone. Reinstall or update the drivers on your interface. So just like I said in the section before, this can cause your interface to work a lot more efficiently and integrate better with your computer. In some cases, reinstalling or updating the drivers for your interface can cause your audio to fix itself. You have a bad interface. Try to borrow a friend's interface and see if the problem goes away. Then you'll know if it's the interface or not. Are you using a USB microphone? Now, to be fair, USB microphones are getting better and better and better every single day. Technology is progressing at an unbelievable rate, but As of right now, there's still a lot of USB microphones with a lot of self-noise in them because they have to cram cheap preamps into these microphones so that you don't need to use an interface. And most of the time, those cheap preamps have a lot of self-noise to them. So that could be your issue. Issues in your environment. Is your AC running? Is there a refrigerator above or below you humming? Do you have a bathroom fan on? And this could be a bathroom fan all the way on the other end of the house. I've had students where they had a bathroom fan on the other end of the house, and its vibration made its way all the way to the other end of the house in their closet and into their audio. Is the light in your space causing a buzz or a hum? Fluorescent lights are really, really bad about this. Electrical issues. The outlets in your house can cause this. Sometimes the way the electrician wired up your home can be problematic. Sometimes even something as simple as cutting on a fan in the room you're in can cause some electrical issues. You may have a ground loop issue. One possibility is to use this Furman Sound Pro. You plug your equipment into this Furman and it's supposed to alleviate some electrical issues in your audio. Is it your headphones? I've heard of some actors hearing some weird clicks in their audio and they thought it was their mouth noise, but ended up finding out it was actually the headphones on their ears, and every time they moved their head, it was causing a clicking noise. You could try to lube up the joints of your headphones to make sure that they stop clicking, or you could replace some of the parts altogether if the manufacturer sells replacement parts. Monitoring. Okay, so I don't mean a TV, but anyway, your speakers or your headphones. Sometimes what you're hearing coming back out at you wasn't picked up in the recording. It wasn't in the audio, it's just in your playback. So you're only hearing it in your speakers or your headphones because maybe you have some faulty headphones or some faulty speakers. One thing you could try to do is take your audio out to your car, play it in your stereo system and see if you hear the noise there, or even on your phone or laptop and see if the noise goes away. Then you'll know it's your speakers or your headphones. And then finally, reinstall or update your DAW. Like I said before, this would be the last thing I would try because of potential issues that could actually happen by updating. But like I said, I've seen this work. Why do I sound far away? And like I'm in a box. So, are you speaking into the correct side of the microphone? Seriously, this happens, okay? But why would you know? All right, we're not born understanding audio or microphones. You need someone to tell you, hey, there's one side of the microphone to speak into, and make sure that's the only side you're speaking into. 95% of the time, it's gonna be the side of the microphone where you see the manufacturer's logo. So we'll just take the Rode NT1 as an example. You see where it says Rode, and plus they give you this little nifty dot to let you know, hey, speak into that side. You haven't properly treated your space. So this is probably the most common issue I have with students' audio that haven't properly treated their space. They have a lot of hard surface reflections happening in a smaller space, and it ends up sounding like they're in a box or a tube, and yeah, that's not good. Is your input set properly? Every once in a while, your computer will decide to think for you, and it will set the input to the microphone in your computer instead of the microphone that you plugged into it that you actually want to use. And if that happens, you're gonna sound really far away, and you're gonna sound boxy and weird, and you're gonna think, wow, this microphone sucks. But it really doesn't. It's your computer that sucks. I hope these troubleshooting tips were helpful, and if you do like this video, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe, and, well, you know what they say.